What's going on, family? Welcome back to another Real Talk video. I pray that everybody's doing well as we off top give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and definitely all praise and worship. I'm responding back to you, Sister Crystal. Um, very powerful email. And I know this was a long time ago when you sent me this. I tried to send you the older video I did on Dr. Sebi, but I cannot find it. And I believe that's one of the ones that got taken down with all the rest of them other ones that got taken down. So I say, you know what? Got a little time on my hands. Let me do this updated video here. My old man, long time ago, he told me, I want you to check out somebody. I can't remember what year this was. I just know it was a long time ago. And I started checking out Dr. Sebi. His real name was Alfred Bowman. You know, when he came to the United States, and everybody started calling him Dr. Sebi because there was so many celebrities that said they was healed by him. If you read the story, you'll see Michael Jackson name in there. Left Eye, they used to be with TLC. Others. But you asked me, did I agree with the food diet that he had? Oh, absolutely, yes. When you look at this man and his skin, I think what was that? He died in, I believe it was 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But the shape that he was in before he went to jail, the energy that he had, and I believe he was in his 80s then, maybe 82, 81. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, so many things he said I believed in, especially when he said all we had to do in the first place was use what the good Lord, which Most High already put on earth, which was the herbs. And a lot of people called him a fake, a fool. Of course, you're going to have the negative and the positive. To this day, people are still arguing about what he did. Was it true or not? Um, but he went against the synthetic drug business, which we know makes a lot of money now. The things that he said, how many, I can't tell you how many doctors they hated what he was doing. They disagreed with him. They argued about it. But he put a hurt to the pharmacy business in so many ways. Because, when somebody can tell you something like, well, I can cure diabetes, I got a cure for AIDS, I got a cure for asthma, so on and so on, many things that he named. Then, that come a red flag for the drug business. Oh, we got to do something about this because, as I always say, there is no money in you being cured. The money is in you staying sick. Uh, but the one thing I love that he said, I remember this quote from reading it long time ago. He said that a society, this is what Dr. Seaver said, a society that keeps curious a secret. Think about that. So they can continue to sell their medication for huge profits. He said that ain't no real society. He said there wasn't no real society. And he himself battled with mental illness at first. I remember one video he said he was so angry and mad he didn't know what was going on with his body that he wanted to kill his wife at the time. He said no particular reason. His wife was one of the sweetest persons he ever knew. Just sweet. And he said, but that mental illness, which we know what the Bible calls it, just dealing with demons. But this man showed proof on so many people when he went to court that they couldn't find him guilty. Now, a lot of the doctors hated that he educated himself. I forgot the name of the when he came to the United States. When you read about it, study about it. Dr. Seaver didn't go to school for what he learned. When he came here, he was dealing with asthma. He was overweighted. He was dealing with diabetes. But it was a doctor, a herbalist in Mexico. There you go. That opened up his eyes on a lot of stuff. And then Dr. Seaver just started experimenting with those herbs, taking this one, taking that one. He was self-taught. He started coming up with all these different herbs. Now, a lot of people say it ain't true. A lot of people say it's true. A lot of people say they have the proof. Proof, excuse me. So of course you're gonna have these arguments, disagreements. But he said he had something for let me think in my mind for a minute. Leukemia was one of them. Sickle cell anemia, lupus, cancer. Like I said, diabetes, so on and so on, asthma. But he was sued, I think twice if I'm not mistaken, because he was practicing without a license. Ain't that something? You'll get sued for practicing without a license. But now they got a law where you can carry a gun with no license. You don't have to have a permit. I'm gonna leave that alone though. Just something to think about. Which lets you know how they target certain individuals. But he got sued for practicing without a license, and then he got sued, I believe, for false advertisement. But like I say, when he went to court, now this is the thing that stuck out to me. When he went to court, the judge told him, "Okay, you say you hitting all these people, so on and so on. Bring me one witness with proof, with documents." Catch that now. I know some of y'all already familiar with this, but it may be somebody that don't know. But you bring me one witness with document proof, and you got to show me that they went through another doctor first, and then show me that you cured them. Well, it was about over 70 witnesses that showed up. He ain't had no medical degree. So while the doctors were saying all these diseases are incurable, Dr. Seaver said yes they are. And he had proof when he went to court. Now, one thing that stuck out to me, because I love a lot of stuff that he said, uh, when he started talking about the mucus and the membrane. See, I've had that issue for a long time, and sometimes it come back. But I learned to take, like I say, the natural stuff because I would be congested all the time. But Dr. C, one thing that was real important that stuck out to me when he said the mucus of the membrane. He said everything pretty much starts with the mucus. He said that's the start of pretty much most diseases. Now, was he right or was he wrong? It's each to their own what you believe. But when he started talking about that mucus, the first thing it made me think about was sinus infections. Even for a child, your membrane, that stuff is just you be congested. And he said that's why bronchitis started. Hmm. Arthritis. He said the overflow of the mucus getting all out of whack is what was causing all that. So a lot of people disagree with that. Doctors disagree with that. But here's the thing, like my man Daniel always say. But here's the thing, doctors, no disrespect toward no nurse or no doctor, love you. But doctors do not know it all. Doctors are practicing a lot of times, and you are the one they practicing on. Don't nobody know your body better than the Holy Spirit. Now let me say this. I meant to say this off top of this video. Before there was any Dr. CB ever born, what did Yah already tell us what to eat and what not to eat? Come on, Israel. He told us from the beginning, stay away from all this stuff. Stay away from the bottom feeders. Stay away from the shrimp, the catfish. Stay away from this. Stay away from the pork. Stay away from all this stuff that you know is killing you. Because believe it or not, you are what you eat. See, it's amazing. So many people to sit up and let the doctor dictate their life. Well, you're gonna be on this the rest of your life. Well, you need to take this, and that. And I'm not trying to be funny, y'all, but how many people actually try what's all the way natural, what y'all had already put there, and go against the medications with the side effects? You taking this for that, and then you need another pill for that. These pills don't agree with each other. Next thing you know, you ain't feeling good. Well, if you think about what I was just telling my little brother this about pork. That's why I can't even eat pork. My head just, my head will get to throbbing. Was I brought up on pork? Yes. Was I brought up on processed meat? Yes. I pretty much now go against everything I was brought up with. That's why I love avocados so much. I stopped worrying about the taste of a lot of things and start eating it for the healing. You give me some avocados right now, I tear them up, which is another thing Dr. Sebi was crazy about and tell you to get the avocados. Matter of fact, if you look up his diet list, you'll see all the foods on there. I can send it to you if you can't find it. But I'm gonna just name a few, especially like in the vegetables. It was the bell peppers, okra, zucchini. I love zucchini and squash. Onions. He always talked about those tomatoes, but not but only the cherry and plum tomatoes. He talked about olives and what most people like is kale, which is that green. You know, you see a lot of people doing smoothies with kale in it now. He always talked about the lettuce, but he didn't like the iceberg lettuce. He talked about the cucumbers, the dandelion, greens. Then he started talking about the fruit, like cantaloupes, apples, grapes. But if you listen to him closely, he would talk about grapes with seeds. He would talk about mangoes, cherries, berries, except cranberries. Some about cranberries he didn't like. But then melons with seeds, prunes, prunes. I mean, so many different things, plums. But growing up, and see what Dr. Seaver was talking about. A lot of our older people was doing that back in the day. Cause I remember my mom and dad having them prunes. Them prunes will flush you out. Watermelon is the real water pill. Yeah. Watermelon is real good. Like he said with seeds, and I agree. When you start really paying attention to your body, you realize what really goes in your body and what not, and you'll start going against it if you're serious. But the thing is, a lot of us been taught that everything that we think is good is really killing us. See, processed food, pork, all this stuff that we don't suppose to eat. We always talking about high blood pressure is the silent killer. But if you think about it, all this stuff we put in our body is a silent killer. And that's why we talked about this on live chat the other night. That's why you have the diabetes, the high cholesterol, the high blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. And you just think about it when you was growing up. Now everybody didn't grow up like that, but those of us who did what we was eating. You look at the bologna, all the hog. Somebody said it on live chat the other day, the chitlins and all that stuff that was just heavy, loaded down, salt, sodium, carbs, sweets. Like I talked about the Kool-Aid with all the sugar in there, the tea with all the sugar in there, the butter. I mean, it's just by the grace of the Most High that so many people lived as long as they did. If you really just reflect back over it, think about it. I'm not trying to be funny. I always like to use the movie Soul Food, and that's why I always talk about soul food. Now you got people trying to have what they call healthy soul food, but I call it slave food when you do the studying on it. I mean, I know a lot of people get mad because when I say that, people with them food channels always hit me up. You should have said that. A lot of them know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, it looks good, but when you think about it, there's certain foods you eat that will make your head thrive, man. Or you go use it and see how long that stuff be in your system and then what it smell like. And some of y'all know I'm telling the truth. You just don't want me to say the truth when I say it for you. You know, I'm not beating nobody over the head because I grew up on all this stuff, a lot of this stuff. That's why I go against it now. You know, and even the doctors will tell you to do stuff in moderation. But one thing I learned about my system, the more and more I leave stuff alone in my mindset is telling me I don't even want it at all no more. Just like I can't tell you the last time I had Kool-Aid since I was little. You know, I haven't had Kool-Aid, man, I don't know how long. There's a lot of things I haven't had in a long time, especially when I went to the hospital in 2012 and the battle that I was having. Like, this is why I don't eat everybody's food. And some people get offended. Not that they think you're being funny, but I try to tell people the way I am now, if I don't know who cooked it and what you put in it, it's going to be kind of hard for me to, come over your house and eat this and eat that because I know my race of people. We love to over season everything. Man, me and my mom had these conversations all the time. Man, you go to certain food places, man. Then you wonder why your head throbbing. Man, I don't feel too good. And that's another point Dr. Seaver was making when he was saying all the stuff you put in your body, and then you wonder why you're in so much pain all the time, why you don't feel good because you're not even giving it. Your body is not being cleansed, so you just constantly and don't even talk about holidays when all the food come. That's why a lot of people they are not gonna stop doing it, no matter what you say. It's just like some people ain't gonna never stop smoking. Some people ain't gonna never stop getting drunk. So I'm just gonna throw it out there, But Dr. CB was on point with a lot of stuff, whether people wanted to agree with him or not. He even talked about this time where this guy was blind and he mixed up some herbs for that person, and they eventually started being able to see. Now, of course, I'm not putting him over the Holy Spirit at all. This is just some stuff that you see, that you read, and like you say, like I say, you can believe it or not if it's true or not. But you had a lot of people come forward. Now, a lot of people saying that he paid them people to say that stuff, but I don't know. I'm just using my spiritual discernment, and I look at facts. But he did experiment. You know, I watched a lot of his videos. When my old man told me about him, I kind of got stuck on watching him. There's another guy on here. I want to say his name is Minister of Wellness, who's on point with a lot of stuff. But they show you how the body is so important, cleansing the body. So Dr. Sebi experiment, man, was with the herbs. I mean, But when you look at this whole story of how he died, as we would say back in the day, something fishy going on here. Some don't sit well in my spirit with that. And I think about that, and it's like who's telling the truth and who's not. Who really told the truth? Because what I believe happened when you look at the way he lived, what he ate, what he didn't eat. Now they took. Let me see. They caught him. They said they caught him. He was arrested for money laundering. Okay, check that out. And there still was some fishy with that. Now his family. I remember listening to his grandson. I think that was his daughter. They was on what is that? They was on the Breakfast Club. I think that was the name of that Breakfast Club doing the interview. And they was talking about how he was sent to that third world country, third world jail, third world country prison. Well, I forgot the name of it. Which means he's not around his herbs. He's not around what he's been around. Now here's the question: what was they feeding him? I even heard once somebody say, "I think they poisoned Dr. CB." Hmm. Did they? But his family is clear on it wasn't no foul play from what they were saying. But how do you know for sure it wasn't no foul play? Because even at the age this man was at, he still could jump down from on and off a table like he was still in his 20s. Like I say, look at his skin. He's where my picture at? Look at this dude, man. So when you think about that, what really happened? Okay, he was arrested at an airport for money laundering. And they really just didn't never show proof or really come back with the story either. Now, as I close, what was interesting to me, I'm just talking about me. You don't have to agree with me, and that's fine. Out of love, you ain't gonna get no fallout with me. When Nipsey Hussle, the rapper, if you notice, both of them are dead. Both of them are dead now. But Nipsey was already working on that documentary about Dr. Sebi and his case. Don't you find it strange that Nipsey Hussle was murdered? Mm, I'm just saying. So it's got to be something to this. Whether you want to say yes, I agree, or no, JT, I don't agree, or there's something to think about, JT. Nipsey Hussle, all of a sudden, that's why a lot of people saying I think it was some type of government conspiracy. But my point is, in the third world country, excuse me, you don't know what they was doing in there. See, when you get locked up in these third world countries, totally different than what you see over here in the U.S. And it's extremely hot. Man, you think it's hot in Dallas, Texas? Go to some of these third world countries. You'll be thanking the most high. You back where you at with the air on. Some people don't even have air. And it's super hot. Man. So there it is. You know how he was eating and what he was doing with his herbs, what he was using for his own body when he was locked up. Then now they get taken away. And you gotta think about it. This man was, like I say, was in his 80s. And once your body get used to something for so long, your body gonna need that to keep feeding off of. They could have gave him all kind of messed up food if he ate it all. Maybe he didn't even eat. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. It's just the stuff I try to go off of. But with that being said, something wasn't right. But Dr. CB was not the Most High Yah. And I say that with all respect. If people, and I'm not taking nothing from him, may the Most High rest his soul and may the Most High bless his family. I'm not talking bad about him at all. But my point is, if people would do what the Most High have already told us to do, you would be amazed at what your body will start doing. But see, food that's an addiction also. It's like a drug. Some people, have a problem with gluttony, food. You done really made up in your mind you gotta have all this stuff, but you don't. They say I just don't like avocados, they nasty. Well, let me ask you this. What if eating avocados would help you live longer and will bring your health up to par? I'm asking you a question. Would you rather eat the avocados and that stuff I named earlier, or would you rather keep taking medicine? Because last time I checked, all this stuff I just named, it don't have no side effect. Avocados ain't got no side effect. Watermelon ain't got no side effect. Prunes ain't got no side effect. Now you might be running to the toilet, which is what you need to do anyway. And then you got all these cleansing commercials and stuff, and people that's got all this stuff out. Now, what would have been doing if they would have never came out with their stuff? And I'm not saying this to make nobody mad. You have to learn to eat better. You got to realize what's for you in your system and what's against you. There's nothing wrong with bettering yourself. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous in your health because your health is your wealth. I'm going to say it again. Your health is your wealth. If you ain't in good health and strength, what good are you to do anything? Think about that. And I'll leave on a note. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. Shalom.